Hello everybody, I'm Storm here, and welcome back to Kerbal Space program. In the last episode, we worked on getting our nuclear pulse drive unmanned experimental probe through its Dres flyby, which we actually did capture into an orbit. We didn't stay there for a whole orbit. We just kind of flew by and then left. And that should be on its way back to Kerbin as we speak. And then I kind of messed around. Well, we unlocked a bunch of new stuff in the science, in the research and development area. You still have a bunch of stuff to unlock in here. And I kind of played around with trying to prototype a new ship type. But I'm still not entirely sold on. I'm still working on some ideas about that, but I'll probably do some more experimentation and prototyping off screen. Didn't really have a lot of time to do that this week, but I'm still planning on doing that. So for today, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be heading on over to the Arbalest, because it is about ready to begin encountering Joule. And I'm going to have to see if there's any kind of clever maneuvering that I can do to avoid having to just do a long capture burn. I mean, I'm going to have to do a long capture burn, but see if I can avoid doing a crazy long capture burn. But we'll see. Alright, so the Arbalest, if we go head on over here, is 118 days, 3 hours, 24 minutes away from the Joule encounter. So, where is that nuclear pulse testbed? 3 years. Three years, 26 days. Oh yeah, it's not on its way back yet. We've got to do a plane change maneuver, and then we can head on back, so it has some work to do. That's alright, it's an experimental probe. I was primarily just using that to see how those nuclear pulse engines work. So it's interesting, and I'm going to try and incorporate it into something else. But we'll see. Alright, so let's go ahead and fly this. Should load in relatively quickly. I hope. There we go. Alright, we're reoriented oddly here, but that's fine. So, let's go ahead and just warp across the sphere of influence transition. It's saying we don't have a lot of signal out here. Even though this should have a relatively decent antenna on it. I guess we're just pushing it to its limit. Is Kerbin on the other side of the sun at the moment? It is on the other side of the sun, that's why. Okay, here we are. And here we're going to take our first measurements here. Plant growth experiment. We might as well go ahead and grab that. Aquatic species observation. Grab that. An EVA report. Ooh, EVA report. Oh, that's fine. EVA report. Okay, go ahead and board back on. Can that EVA report be sent to the lab? Cannot be sent to the lab. Well, just go ahead and transmit it back then. Visual observation. Transmit that back. There is actually somebody in the lab, right? Who's our scientist? Dealey. No, Dealey is not in the lab. Alright, get you to the lab. Crew report. Crew report requires the cockpit to be manned. Who's a pilot? Haven Kerman is a pilot. Tamphil? Where are you? There's crew in there. Requires the M2 cockpit to be manned. Oh, this to be manned? What if I do a crew report from here? Control from here. Okay, what if I do a crew report there? And why it's giving me trouble here? Alright, fine, whatever. We've done a lot of the other experiments, because we did have an unmanned probe fly through here, so... that is fine. Alright, so here's what I want to do. I'm going to go ahead and focus on... Joule. Okay. Now we're coming in from the correct direction. It'll be 58 days before we actually even get there. We're coming in at a bit of an angle. What kind of maneuver would we be talking about to circularize? And I can use this to calculate that. Circularize. Create the node. No, at the periapsis. There you go. Create the node. 2,325.5 meters per second. All right. That's the brute force method. So, let's see. If I were to try to slow myself down, what I would want to do is approach one of these moons and swing in and like come out in front of it to swing around like this. So we get a gravity assist coming around this way, which should scrub off some momentum. So the question's going to be, can we do that? And probably will not let me do a transfer orbit. Yeah, it's not going to let me do that. Because I need to be in an actual, like, closed orbit to do that. Alright then, I'm going to have to just... wing it. We'll see what we can get. We're already going to get a fairly close approach here. So, if I slow down a little to tighten... Okay, there we go. Oh, that's not bad. That is not bad at all. Let's turn my increment way down because... Okay, so that's going to lead to... Okay, so that's about as good as I can get it there. Now, if I were to approach... Let's see if I can get this a better plane. Ooh, that's a very, very close approach. I don't think I'm going to be wanting to do that. So I would have to adjust at some point, but that'd be alright. Oop, oop, oop. That's not what I want there. That's actually getting me... Is that getting me closer to the plane? Yeah, it's getting me closer to the plane. I think. The question is going to be then, what's my encounter here? Descending node. Because if we're talking about an impact trajectory, then that's not helpful. Yeah, that's an impact trajectory. That's not what I want. That's actually not bad. Just bought my mic. It's actually not bad. 4.7 meters per second. I might have to do this in multiple maneuvers. Yeah, it's going to have to be in multiple maneuvers. But I think that's probably good. Is it? It has to be something where I'm not going to hit it. Did I lose control of the node? Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that's actually worse. That's further off the plane. That's not what I'm looking for there. Yeah, pretty much just going to get what I can take without getting like that. And now we're starting to get there. Yeah, that's a lot better. You know what? I'm going to take that. We'll have to adjust it at ApoApps. Alright, so we're 4 days away from the node. It's a 1 second burn, because it's 3.2 meters per second. Alright. So now we go through the laborious process of getting this behemoth oriented properly. And we're going to have to fire up those reactors. Reactors on. how's this thing doing for life support? I mean, how are we doing for life support across everybody? Bliss says 13 years of life support. The Kerbal on 1 station has 3 years. This thing still has 11 years of life support. So, yeah, we're all perfectly fine. You know what I could just go ahead and do? Is take one of the 2 pilots. And just transfer you over. Where did it put? Really? Transfer you over there, just so I can do the stinking crew report. And send it to the lab. And take another one to transmit home. Alright. Okay. So, here we are. Let's go ahead and execute the node. I don't even... We are controlling from the right spot, right? Well, it's only 3 meters per second. If I screw something up, we got plenty of time to fix it. This needs to be a fairly precise burn, because these little tiny changes this far out will have significant consequences. Alright, there's the maneuver. And let's see if we got the orbit we were looking for. Indeed we did. Beautiful. Now, here's going to be the question. How close do we get on our initial flyby? 4 million meters. Okay, so... that should be fine. 4,000 kilometers. That shouldn't be an issue. Let's go ahead and warp down to here. Alright, there we are. We have no new science. Is this close enough to be considered a close approach? That's close enough to be considered a close approach there. No, not quite. Alright, so this is what? This is Lathe. Alright, let's go ahead. Let's see. What is our approach on Lathe? 250 kilometers. That should be good. All right, let's go ahead and warp to our lathe transition here. We're going to be back. That's our primary goal for this mission, is to get landed there. Alright, visual observation, send that to the lab. And then transmit one home. Alright, crew report. Crew report. Send it to the lab, and then transmit one home. EVA report. Send it to the lab. Take another one. Shouldn't there be an EVA report in here? I guess not. Go ahead and shut those reactors off for the moment. Alright, let's warp through this encounter here. That is a big ball of water. There are some land masses down there. Landing there is going to be interesting because I don't want to use any... Ooh, gravity scan. Send that to the lab. I don't want to use any power, any fuel during re-entry and landing. So everything's going to have to be done coasting. Okay, so we're through that encounter. Okay. Now, out here... I'm gonna need to raise... the periapsis. Oh, we're gonna get ourselves another encounter. With lathe over here. That could actually be very useful. Can we improve? Can we improve that? And we need larger increments here. Yes. What if I do this? Nope, wrong way. And this. That's the escape. So we'll be coming this direction. Is that the direction? The proper... I think so. That's the correct direction. That's about as good as we're going to get, I think. Can we get that in a little bit closer? Ooh, not that close. 120,000 meters? The closer we can get, the better. $157,000. All right, that I think will work. It's only a 50-second maneuver. Toggle reactor control. It's in 6 days. And then we'll have a circularization maneuver to do at Lathe. Wait, the electric charge is dead? Turn the reactors on. We're gonna need those reactors. Okay. I guess we can keep the reactors on through this whole process. That'll be fine. We are in shadow, right? We're in Jules' shadow? We are currently in Jules' shadow, and looks like we're going to be in that shadow for a while. Oh, no? Well, now we're getting some sun exposure. Wow, we are barely getting any energy flow off of those panels. Now, this far out, the solar panels are barely useful. Oh, there's a picture. Gravity scan. Eh. How much we got in there? 518. Start research. There we go. We're not quite there. Not quite lined up yet. Alright, it's probably about as close as we're going to get. Let's go ahead and execute the node. Gotta wait for it to line up perfectly. There we go. All right, we're just about there. Those probably will fire at what, 26 seconds? T minus. There we go. Six days have gotten us what? 40 science? Might as well transmit that back. An EVA report. Yeah, go ahead and transmit that back too. All right, we've got our encounter. Let's see how well this lines up. Now the question's going to be, how big of a burn is it going to take to capture here? Oh, and that is, the resultant trajectory is going to be a massive impact trajectory. So we got to make this work. All right. 6 more days. All right, warp complete. So now we want to circularize at the periapsis. What are we looking at? 2,400 meters per second. Well, we're not going to be able to get away from that 22,000 meters per second burn. All right. Well, go ahead and orient there, and then we'll go get it started. Take 17 minutes. Now we know from our Duna expedition that this isn't not going to do anything. So all right, that's good. Go ahead and execute the node. One concern is we got to start this burn so far out from periapsis that it might actually lower the periapsis too far. Yeah, see, this is how far out we're having to start this burn. Let's see, it's going to leave us around 6,000 meters per second at delta V. My periapsis height is actually increasing. That's interesting. All right, well, gonna let this run for the next 15 minutes or so, and then I'll be back and we'll see where we end up. All right, so just a moment. Okay, finally done that. That took a lot longer than I had anticipated for a couple of reasons. One, that 17-minute long burn isn't actually 17 minutes. It takes probably 3 times that long because of the time dilation effect from the physics engine, because of the size and complexity of the craft. And because of how long the burn took, I had to do several subsequent burns to get us to a relatively nice circular orbit, which meant that we have burned through a lot more of the delta V than I had anticipated. And I'm hoping that's not going to cause a problem. It shouldn't. I wouldn't think. I think we should be able to get back to Earth. Oh my god. Kerbin. Without much trouble. But it will probably push the vehicle to its delta V limits here. But we probably won't be coming back with this. We won't be coming back with... I don't know if I'm going to ditch that. It's carrying a lot of supplies. We'll see. But this probably won't be necessary. We can leave that here. Lander. But because of all of that, I think we're going to have to end the episode here. A bit short for actual recorded time, but in terms of actual, like, work I had to do, a bit long. So, you go ahead and stop here, as I said. And then when we come back for next episode, we will work on getting landed. Hopefully on something solid. And hopefully not losing any bits of the plane when we do. So we'll see how that goes. Then we'll do our experiments, and then hopefully this guy will be able to get back to orbit in one shot. We'll see how that goes as well. So for now, hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Go ahead, like, subscribe, and comment, and I will see you next time.